Going live. And you're alive. You're alive? Yes, I'm alive. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special episode of Külapood. Tonight it is going to be in English, and I am still Karl. But let's start it off with the traditional method of beginning the streams and every episode.
The village shop.
They opened mine before. Oh, I fucked it up. Let it down, Carl.
It's all good. You have one. I mean, you made me a happy man, Tim.
Sponsored by Monster, right? Better be.
No. Where is my sponsorship? I keep asking.
Monster. Come on.
It's in our 5-year plans.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the Külapood shopkeep is pouring the oil of time on his body to enter the wrestling ring of destiny to start the fight. In the same manner, our show has started today. I am still Karl-Alari Varma, and I said my own name in an accent, perfect. And with me in his own home still, we have Ardo Asperk down below me.
Good evening.
And our guest today is Tim Reidy.
Hello.
The indomitable Irishman, also a comedian and a friend.
Cheers, Carl. Teeb.
Yes.
Check.
You as well. But yeah, today we're going to talk to Tim, who is an Irish person living in Estonia, doing stand-up here, and who knows what dirty business. We still haven't decided. We were talking about private jets earlier, so I don't know. It seems like a good business. And yeah, we'll talk about his comedy. We'll talk about Ireland, a little bit about living in Estonia, and I have a game prepared later on, like I usually do. And just let's have some.
I look forward to that. I'm looking forward to the game.
Yes. Someone already said, "Are we twins?" We do look very similar.
I've got a few inches on you yet, Carl, for the beard, but you'll get there, buddy. You'll get there.
You're a little bit more. You're the elder twin. 20 minutes older than I am.
Yeah. Carl's beard is going to start graying in 20 minutes.
We do look very similar. Probably, yeah. Like we have a couple of years between us, and the way to distinguish us is you have lovely blue eyes.
Do I? I think I've got shit-colored eyes. I got brown or something, man. I don't know.
No, it looks like greyish blue here currently. I've got shit-colored greenish eyes, greenish brown, mossy eyes. So that's how
no need to put yourself down. You know, you're beautiful the way you are. You got to be happy with what you got.
The first time I ever met Carl was at before I started comedy. I went to this open mic and Carl was hosting. Or no, he wasn't hosting. He did a set, and he singled me out in the crowd for looking like him.
Yeah.
And I remember him coming up afterwards and being all apologetic, like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry."
I shat on you as well because I called you a raving alcoholic.
And he didn't even know me. How prescient is Carl? He knows.
Yeah, but you did talk about owning a bottle of. I think it was a bottle of. What was it? Can't remember. Something strong. Tequila,
Monster.
I believe.
Don't remember, man.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk. Tim here has been living in Estonia for how many years? A couple?
On and off since 2012.
Yeah. So
like the last couple of years, I've barely been in the country, but you know.
But he's been here in Bide of all places, and he's been doing comedy, and he's toured in like smaller tours and done a couple of shows here and there, and he has a podcast. We'll talk about that, and yeah, It's gonna be interesting. First of all, how are you holding up in the current climate?
I was doing all right until like yesterday, you know, like because I've been staying at home as much as I can, but I've been traveling around a lot too, and yesterday it really hit me like I can't go home. I'm trapped in Estonia. It really just hit me yesterday. So I was like, Jesus, I'm in prison.
first of all, could you turn yourself up a bit more? Actually, a little bit.
I can indeed.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a lot better. And also, I had a follow-up question. That which would you then prefer if you had to be locked up in Estonia or Ireland? What would you decide? What would be the choice?
Right now, Estonia.
Okay.
Because things aren't as bad here as it is back in Ireland.
Oh, I haven't kept up with the Irish.
Do they have like these more strict measures of lockdown than they do have here?
No, see, the Irish people.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't listen to our government or our police. We do the complete opposite of what they tell us to do. So, like, the pubs are closed, but they're letting people in the back door. People are drinking. It's disaster.
Yeah.
It's like a speakeasy, like during Prohibition.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was thinking that as well. Like, Estonians generally, like, we have that a little bit of that rebellious nature that like, people don't want to go outside and socialize, but if the government tells us like you can't do this, they're like, now I'm gonna start running and I'm gonna start enjoying other people's presence and I'm gonna go visit everybody and I wanna hug people. I've never hugged anyone in my life, but I'm gonna fucking hug everyone, right? And then, but still,
that's sort of the thing I don't really get about. Like, a lot of people complain that it's so tough. Like, the situation right now, we can barely take it. But if, like, in France or someplace like that, you can only go out like 2 times a week with a permit, and if you like break the rules, you get fined. Or like in India, if you break quarantine, police will beat you with sticks and make you do squats. So you get like beaten up and have to work your legs. So, I think it's not that bad right now over here.
Squatting in India is a dangerous proposition, I tell you.
But even like, yeah, as an Estonian, you will go and finish. You'll have the one hug, and you realize, oh yeah, this isn't for me, and then you won't you'll go back to your non-social existence. But with the Irish, I believe that it's far more difficult because you're more outgoing and you need to socialize and sort of keep talking to someone, even if you hate them, you still talk to them. So, like,
everyone I talk to back home, they all want to know, Tim, how are you? Tim, how are you? But when I ask them, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is the pubs are closed. First thing, not my aunt has COVID and she died or whatever. The pubs are closed. Like, and they ain't closed, trust me.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with like there's not gonna be a lot of we need to go on walks thing, but it is the pubs and the sort of
pubs, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like, don't come here, it's fucked.
Scotland for sure.
That's better than Matti can do anyway. But here, even like, things are kind of returning to normal now. Like, I drove to Teleskivi today and everyone was out jogging, walking their dogs and stuff, which, by the way, that's my favorite thing about this whole COVID thing. The amount of happy little doggos I see outside being walked. They're going to be so depressed when it's all over and done with.
I saw this morning, I saw the saddest dog I've seen in a long time. It was someone was walking the dog, and it was sort of this, like, it used to be a white dog, like the fur, but it was grey and matted, right? And just like the owner was almost dragging it behind her, and the dog was just sniffing a bit on the ground, looking up, looking down, and just kept being dragged. Like, I didn't know what to do. I had too much shopping on me to actually like go and engage. But it was heartbreaking. Sorry, I couldn't.
Thrown the shopping bag at her head and taken the dog.
So yeah, the situation is probably worse in Ireland.
Well, yeah, I mean, because especially my part of Ireland, nobody listens. Because I know, like you were saying that Estonians want to go out and all this. No, like when it first happened here and the coronavirus, the first days of the lockdown, you really stayed home. Like, the streets were proper empty. I drove up to the old town just to see if there was anyone around, and I drove right into the old town and there wasn't a sound, nobody around. It was great. And then in the distance, like at the other end of the old town, you just hear and I was like, yeah, that's the old town I know.
Yeah, they're like bums are just, they have the rule of the streets now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where's the bum gonna go,
Yeah.
It's been fun, like going out to the shops during the night as well. Like, nobody's, like, almost a single car, and that's about it.
Yeah,
It's very nice. That's the idea. Like, I would want this to sort of keep happening. Like, can we have the lockdown for longer in a way, but without that imminent threat of a killer virus? Like, that would be perfect.
Yeah. It would be nice.
So yeah, I guess you're happy, but you are in Tallinn, not in Paide, so you're self-isolating a bit more.
Yeah.
How is, like, all over the years, like, how has Paide accepted you, or how has Estonia accepted you? Do you feel accepted yet? The strange Irish giants.
I mean, I've talked a lot of shit over the years about Paide and about Estonia, but
everybody from Paide has.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even when I'm down there, I keep to myself. I go to Külapood for if I need a bit for an open mic. For the most part, it's a quiet town, and everyone keeps to themselves, except for, like, there's one or two bums who I told the story before. Like, they would often try and get me to come have a drink with them under the tree, which is what you do in this country, right? And I would always like, and like walk past them.
Okay.
And apparently, I was told, like, later on that all the bums in Paide think I'm like too good for them or whatever. They look at me and they think he's one of us, He should come and drink with us. And I'm like, no, I'm actually a respectable human being.
I own a business. I'm a businessman. That's what a real businessman looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's good at least, because always there's I sort of guessed that you would kept to yourself, not knowing you a bit more as well.
Do you feel like you get recognized though, like when people walk by, they're like, oh, it's that guy? Well,
there was one time, all right, where apparently there was this English-speaking drug dealer running through Paide, and the police were chasing him. And apparently one of my neighbors ratted me out, saying, like, oh yes, Englishman, live here. And I had twisted my ankle in protest at the time. I fell off the stage.
I remember that time.
It was the biggest laugh I got of the night too, trust me.
You fell down, you twisted your ankle, and I remember helping you onto the taxi. You hobbled, you made crutches out of a mop.
Out of a mop and a mic stand, MacGyver style.
Yeah, and you were using those two as sort of a crutches to get onto the taxi. The taxi driver couldn't speak a word of English as well, like barely any Estonian. Like having to tell him to get you to the ER. Right?
It was one of Carl's like mystery. Carl just has a special phone for taxis, like a red phone, like the old, more times, just straight to some dodgy taxi driver from last night who, thank fuck, he brought me to the train station, not the ER.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I had to get home, and but anyway, I was like fucked. My ankle was a mess, and the police came knocking at my door because my neighbor ratted me out, English man. And they quickly realized, no, he's not the guy. He doesn't look like a drug dealer.
Did you like have a cast on or something?
No, I don't. Like, no, I was just lying in bed.
I would have thought, like, if you had a cast on, they would have been like, "That's where the drugs are. We got to break that thing open."
I got to sign my cast actually.
Yeah, you have a lot of injuries. Like, you have had especially during comedy. I remember one time. I wasn't there for this, but remember the magical moment with Margus Toots that he told me about it when after a Mökku in Tartu, there's this comedy night there, and there's a church near it with some really slippery stones, right? And you slipped on them and like twisted your ankle or broke your ankle or something like that, and then you can go on telling the story.
You know what? It's been a while. I forget what he said to me.
Yeah, I do. He just looked.
Yeah, what did he say?
He just looked at you and said, "Oh, chronic obesity problems," and then walked on.
Obesity problems, and walked away.
And you're there, like, I can't move, like so.
God, what would we do without Margus? I probably would still have my ankle.
Was he even in a position like to roast somebody about obesity at that point?
No. But that's Margus for you. It's Margus for you.
Oh yeah.
Like I've said to many people, I truly believe he is a space alien sent here to study Estonia.
Yeah, well, he did when we did the Külapood live with Margus. He did have a virtual background on at all times. So I imagine that was to hide the spaceship.
Yeah, he was teleporting around.
That would have been fantastic. Fantastic.
But yeah, Lewis is in the chat as well. I'll actually have a look at the chat as well, what the chat is saying. Yeah, twin stuff with the monster. Someone asked, why is the rum gone? I presume that's a pirate reference.
Oh yeah. Big rum guy me. Yeah.
How much do you get asked about? Hey, are you a pirate? You look like a pirate.
Here's a very funny story from recently. I was in Scotland, and we were at this castle in the West Coast, and there was a pirate exhibition in the next building over. And this kid with this dad, he looked like a deadbeat dad, came out and just started crying, looked at me and started crying and pointing at me. Ah! The dad is a pirate! The exhibition was all about how the pirates raided the west coast of Scotland and reaved everyone. I'm just sitting there on a rock, tired, because I'm always tired. And the kid's like, ah!
Did you kill the child just for authenticity's sake?
The dad just started laughing. He didn't say, no, kid. No, he just started laughing at me.
Yeah. Fair point, though.
So the answer to that is yes, people do think I'm a pirate sometimes.
Okay. It would have been cool if like the dad would have been like, yeah, there's your pilot, let's go home now.
Oh, maybe he thought that I was like part of the show or something, you know. Fuck, I could have got some money off the fella.
Yeah, you should have asked a couple of pounds for the picture. Yeah, picture taken, yeah.
Yeah, like if you make a child cry, that's like extra because it's a very authentic experience.
Yeah.
Another one I get all the time, well, not so much anymore, but when I was in America in 2013, I went to In-N-Out to see what it was, all the hype was about, right? And some guy came up to me and asked for my picture. And I was kind of stunned. So I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, which episodes were you in? I said, what are you talking about? He thought I was in the TV show Duck Dynasty. Do you remember that?
That's a very specific. For those of you who don't know, Duck Dynasty is basically about the Bijou or whatever the swamp thing, bio. The basically rednecks living there, shooting ducks and killing gators.
I probably was in that show for all I know. Who knows, man?
I mean, I thought they had mistaken you for George R.R. Martin or something.
That's happened before too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a bit more grey, and that would happen.
Yeah. A hat as well, I think. It's the hat. You know?
Yeah.
What do you do though in like that situation? Do you like? Are you going to be like, I don't want to ruin their day? Let them take the picture. Let them believe.
Just play along, have fun with it. You know, who cares? I'm in America. I'm leaving. Who cares? I do love though that I'm on some redneck phone or camera somewhere, just sitting there forever in his guy. I might be on the wall. He probably framed that picture and had the guy he thought I was sign it.
You would sign that at that point, I guess, because I know like there's like Tauri Kylä, who hasn't been on the show yet, but who will soon, hopefully. Tauri Kylä once sent us pictures like, oh, I met Emil Rutiku yesterday. He took like pictures and like him hugging the guy and stuff, and we're like, who the fuck is like this? Isn't I mean like this is just some random bloke, but
this isn't even close to looking like the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The one Estonian celebrity I would love to meet is Jan Pek.
Yeah.
I just want to hug him. I just want to give him a big hug. He looks like such a huggable man.
Yeah, teddy bear.
Yeah, he was present at one of my worst moments in stand-up.
Really?
Jan Beck, yeah. He was. It was a private show in some sort of. It was a warehouse basically, and Sander actually tells this story as well, because he was there, and it was. The show was so that Sander did some stand-up, then Jan Beck did some music, then I was doing some stand-up, and Jan Beck after me, right? And just before I got on stage, you could hear some sort of motor started whirring, and we were on the second floor of the warehouse, and you could hear and see the cake being lifted by a forklift onto in front of the stage in front of me as I got onto the stage, and then someone came up and just before you start your stand-up set, tell everybody the cake's ready, and I'm like, okay, like. It was beginning time as well, and we had specifically told them not to do this and all that, and they're like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah. I bet Sander was like, fuck, I'm glad I was on already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like eating cake back then.
Yeah. So there was a queue of people in front of me for the cake, and nobody could actually listen. I did my time. I went 2 minutes overtime.
You're a professional, Carl. You're always a model.
And I died inside.
Yeah, you're like, nobody's listening anyway. I'm going to throw in a bit, like, extra dirty bits at the end.
Yeah, it isn't. I tried new material, you know. It's, okay, let's see what we're having in the chat as well. Do the Irish like to engage in fisticuffs?
We do. We love a good fight. You know, I mean, I'm from a very gentle. I'm from the part of Ireland where everyone, you know, we like the mountains and the sheep.
Yeah.
A little bit too much than we might.
We'll like them.
But yeah, man, the streets of Ireland are rough on a Saturday night. But it's the same everywhere, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like it just, I mean, Tim is a gentle giant.
Yeah,
but, yeah. You can see his gentle eyes.
But I'll bait the shite out of you if you fucking come out.
Yeah.
I'd imagine with like Conor McGregor and all that stuff, the MMA has gained in popularity over there, right?
It has, but you see, there's this cultural divide in Ireland where a lot of Conor McGregor's fans are these young teenagers who really idolize him, want to do what he does, but you know they don't have gyms to go to, so they end up fighting each other on the streets, copy the way he speaks and all that. Whereas that's a Dublin thing. Outside of Dublin, everyone's like, "Come on, lads, just calm down. It's fine, you know. We'll all be dead some days. Just relax."
You have to sort of because Dublin is so sort of expensive as well that you don't really have. If you pay rent, then you don't have time for the gym or money for a gym membership or any sort of weights or anything at home. So you just gotta, you know.
That's the way of it. I mean, a lot of the non-Dublin people despise Conor McGregor. They just want him to go away, you know, because he is kind of setting a bad example for the country. Even though lately he's cleaned up his act and all this stuff, no one's buying it. He's a scummer, as we'd say. A scummer.
You actually are quite into MMA as far as I know. Did you sort of get interested because of McGregor, or were you interested beforehand?
The funny thing about MMA was I got interested in it because of Brock Lesnar from WWE.
Yeah.
But I had never, like, I watched wrestling when I was a kid, like back in the X-Pac days, you know, back in when, you know, when everyone still had this small bit of a belief, maybe it's real. But no.
When the Undertaker gets on,
yeah.
No, he's really magic.
Yeah. Have you seen that clip of the guy crying like, "It's still real to me, damn it"?
Too much cringe, man. Too much cringe.
But yeah, Dublin, I imagine, is quite expensive as well compared to everything else, right?
Well, shit, nowadays, like, you can't rent an apartment in the middle of Dublin for less than $3,000, $4,000 a month.
Shit.
You know?
Wow.
I have a friend who works for Facebook, and he had his really high-paying job. He started out living in Dublin City. Then he moved to a place called Stillorgan, which is like half an hour outside the city. That got too expensive. Moved to Naas, which is outside of Dublin County, and now he still can't afford the rent. So it'll tell you.
I see why you're in Bida.
Yeah, man. Can't complain.
Yeah. Someone asked why is Tim living in Estonia? Well,
how does every single one of these stories begin? A woman brought me here.
No, don't answer that. Don't answer. I don't want you to answer that. I'm just saying.
Here you go. You got your big laugh. It has to be answered, Carl. These things, these pressing issues have to be addressed.
No, I want that to be ignored. I just thought I'd deal with it.
Don't be provoked.
He thought it should be ignored, so he said it on the live stream.
But you do have, exactly. But you have a podcast as well that's currently come out. Tell me about the podcast a bit as well, perhaps.
Well, it started because of this Corona thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Like we have we have Caleb, the American, right?
Yeah, it's on Thursday.
Yep, and James Humphreys, who's a Welsh lad, and they were kind of what's the word when you're stuck inside? Well, cabin fever, right? They had cabin fever.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I'll do this podcast. We'll do a few episodes just to get these lads out of the house. They're not losing their mind.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep on doing it until God knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good, exactly, this live thing happened as well because I can't really go out. There's no shows and I need to keep sane somehow. Well, what passes for sanity on the borderline of being compartmentalized, right? I mean,
we have
institutionalized is the word I'm looking for.
Like, I'm telling everyone, like, just keep making content, keep doing stuff, because who knows how long who knows when we'll be able to go back to shows. And as long as you're doing this stuff, the wheels are still turning in your head.
Yeah, and it must be good to also have like a conversation with a native English speaker, because
I prefer talking to Estonians, though. No offense to all the non-Estonians out there. I do prefer to talk to local people in English, especially. I know it's tough. Fucking English Sakale is bad. Vaga halb. Ruben Caleb is going to come in the window and airlift me out of the country. But I prefer to talk to the Estonian lads.
Yeah. It's interesting probably as well. How's your Estonian going currently as well? Because, like, understanding-wise, I'm not asking for any sort of examples or showing off right now, but how much can you sort of understand of a general conversation?
I can understand a lot. Like, I surprise myself sometimes when I'm driving and the news comes on. I know the news. I'm keeping up with world news just from listening in Estonian. I'll get a story wrong here or there. It could be a story about Syria, and I think it's about video games or something. But like, in general, I can understand a lot more than I can speak. And so when I start lessons later this year, boom, we're in it. We're in there, man.
That's good. That's very nice. But yeah, the podcast. What's the podcast called, by the way? I do have the link down below where you can access it at the bottom there. It's
called the Crack Den, and crack is like an Irish word for. It's like an Irish word for.
It's not fun,
like,
but as such, but
joke.
It's more like
cheeky fun, hanging out with your friends, talking shit. You know, it's a bit of crack. You know, it's hard to describe, but it's just, you know, sitting around and talking shit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a nice pun.
Yeah, it is very nice, but also now I think that the police looking for you wasn't a mistake.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked.
They're coming back. Like, there's probably some other illegal substances here.
Martin Helma is going to be knocking on my door next week.
So what would we have? We have some stuff in chat as well. But yeah, in the podcast, you're just talking about life in Estonia, or just whatever comes to your mind, or
I turn the mics on and we just have a few drinks and chat, like we're just sitting around. A few
drinks,
you know.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we do here as well. Except, well, I drink a controlled substance. I did have when I was transporting these home from Prisma last night. I had these with the other chemical stuff, like detergents and stuff, in the same bag, and because they're all chemicals. And now I checked, it's still 2 years until it goes off. Like, water and cola usually have like a year. This is like over 2 years until it expires.
It's the half-life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to drink during the week anymore, so I got some Monster for the some Monster for the stream today, but this is just as bad for your kidneys and liver than alcohol is, to be fair.
Well, a little bit, yeah. But with alcohol, I think that, especially for me as well, this is a little bit of, like, I swapped out alcohol for Monster a bit more as well. And with alcohol, my tolerance is higher with alcohol in a way, because with alcohol I could keep on drinking like the whole night, and the amount that I actually put in is probably more damaging than a single Monster. Like, whenever we're doing podcasts, I don't actually drink Monster. I know this is difficult to believe. I don't drink Monster on a day off, so to speak, right? When we don't have like shows or stuff, I don't actually drink Monster.
There goes the sponsorship, Carl.
Yeah.
Blew it.
I mean, if I did have a sponsorship and I had some Monster at home that they would send me and I don't have to use all my money on, maybe things would...
when Monster first started off, they were giving it away for anyone. You could just email them and say, look, you could lie. I have like a college radio show, and they'll send you a crate of Monster. It's the great old time to destroy your liver, you know?
Yeah, because apparently, like, I find this so strange as well, because Monster's sort of is the sponsor of like rally and motocross and like extreme sports, and then you have, like, it's the same, like McDonald's is one of the main sponsors of the Olympics.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they sponsor rally and stuff and like extreme sports. Like these are all like events you can die quite fast anyway. So
I thought you were gonna say because these are all sports you can use the monster as a fuel substitute in case you run out of fuel. You have I just have a pack of monster in the back. We'll pour those and it'll be fine.
yeah, clean the engine.
Or just for all the kids at home, don't drink alcohol or monster or anything. It's all bad for you. Drink water. Stay hydrated. That's it.
Please don't say that about monster on my stream.
Hey, buddy, I brought backup with me, friend. We're gonna
get the hard pounding
to get you the maximum amount of sponsorship money. That's what we're doing here.
Okay, how's wait. I'm like all of those pictures going here. No more Mr. Tim, man. But nah, it's so good. I just see how things are. You know how it is. Talking about just Estonian life, what's your favorite food place in Estonia? Because I know you are a man who loves like takeaways and eating out and good food. Because you make good food yourself as well. You've made me breakfast, and it's still I dream of that breakfast occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, at least someone appreciates my breakfast, isn't that right, Carl?
Yes, it is great. I was so good because I like the kind of foods like black pudding. I like basically food that's the unhealthiest option possible. Like if it's deep fried and fat, I get an erection. And I mean, we went to Positivus later on after the breakfast. And
was it after the breakfast? Oh, bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I had to remember. I had to get that Russian out of the way in the car and stuff. But
yeah, but for those who don't know, like an Irish breakfast is an abomination on a plate. It's these big fat sausages, deep fried, black pudding, deep fried, bacon, fried. Everything's fried, and some people have it every day. Yeah, and I haven't had one for months. I'm going crazy, Carl.
It's good for the soul.
Well, no, it's not good for anything.
Yeah, it was good. Like it's because it's similar to an English breakfast, right? And in some ways, not completely the same. Please don't kill me. And because when we were doing the Fringe, I had a lot of English breakfast because that was the cheapest option, and also it fills your whole body for the whole day. And
the entire nation of Scotland is crying right now that you would call it an English breakfast.
I know. It was Scottish breakfast, English breakfast. It was the same stuff. And it was literally the same.
It just keeps getting worse.
it's
haggis, though. Haggis in a Scottish breakfast is different.
True. But I actually, like, people who were living with me at the time can vouch for me and say, like, I had apples and other like, healthy stuff just to balance it out because I felt my body needed it.
But no, a favorite food place, I can't answer that anymore, Carl. There's too many good places now. Like maybe when I first came here years ago, there was like a handful of good places, but now it's crazy. The amount of new places in Tallinn especially is.
But what about the favorite place in Paide?
Well, that's how many places do we have? I think we have 3 places left in Paide now. We have Niana, little cafe behind the castle. Good food, man. I went to Niana the first time. You could get hakli hakasta in a massive bowl with boiled potato for €1.80.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And good hakli hakasta too, which is my favorite Estonian dish, by the way. And we have pizza kiosk and a little tavern called Crazy Trachter, and that's it. So, Ardo, I can't possibly choose between all of those options.
Did they sort of decline?
For the sake of journalism, I have to ask.
Norman.
Did the decline of the food scene start when you departed for travels from Estonia? Like, was there a correlation between you going away from Estonia and all these places closing down?
No, like me in the last 2 years, I would come back to Estonia, and for like 2 weeks, I just look around and go, "No, I gotta leave again." Nothing to do with Estonia. It's just my own restlessness, you know. Yeah. And now I'm trapped here, as I said before. So,
because you are a wandering soul, I would say that about you.
Yeah.
Because you've lived in America too, right?
No, I used to go to America every year in March and stay for like a month. but I've never lived there like
Okay.
more than a few months, you know.
Because you would have to go through a very difficult visa process, and like, I'll do whatever.
Like a lot of people do, and just not go through the process at all and stay there illegally. I know people who are doing it, you know.
Yeah. Oh, you consort with criminals, do you?
Hey, whoa, they're white, so it doesn't count.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, but if you do that, you can never leave, right? Because if you like exit the country, you can't like ever get back or something like that.
If they catch you, they kick you out, and you can never come back. Yeah.
Someone asked. Oh, not someone, but Margo was asked. Margo's thoughts.
Here we go.
What's the most recent thing you have learned in this Estonian? Wait. Margos, what's the last thing you learned in English? But this sentence is broken. Let's move on with something else. Like I can't like Margos, please. Someone asked.
Carl is also broken.
Yes,
by this sentence.
I read something Margos wrote and it fried me.
You did what Years of Monster couldn't do. You broke Carl.
Yeah, someone asked why is the episode in English? Because we have an English-speaking guest. This is logical.
A lot of Estonians are very sensitive about the language, aren't they?
Yeah, I remember Lewis was watching probably would back me up on this as well when Lewis and had like a radio show on Radio 2 in English that I sometimes was a guest on. Like they got more complaints about it being in English than the constant swearing happening on it. Because there was like a record of swear words at one point said on like broadcasts and stuff, and people didn't complain about that. It was
they were pissed off. They turn on the radio, they want to hear "Türa puts vitt, pohhoi," and then they hear like "fucking cunt." It's just, you know,
not the same.
It's spitting in their face.
Yeah.
So let's get. Oh, so you don't really know how bad it is in this current situation, like, because I was gonna ask about like, do people still like are the streets empty or still stuff happening or?
Yeah. A week ago, they opened the first mobile testing area.
Okay.
I pass that thing often, and there's nobody getting tested. The last I checked, there's like 4 cases in all of Järvamaa or something.
Okay.
Maybe I could be wrong about that, but it's a very low number.
Yeah.
But even still, yeah, man, the streets are emptier than usual, and they're usually empty anyway. So you know, but it's nice though. There's a nice, like yesterday, especially now when the weather has gotten a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
And there's no one around. That's nice. Just walking around and, you know, quiet, peace. You know, there's not that many bums out, which is disappointing because they're always good fun, you know.
Yeah, it's like here as well. Like I see, especially in the last couple of days when it was raining and stuff. Obviously, there weren't that many people, but now it's just even more people. Like I've never seen this amount of people on the streets of last time. I'm just enjoying life. Like there's even kids playing in the parking lot because there used to be like a children's play area in front of my house, but it got taken down so they could build a parking lot there, right? And now it's just the kids are just playing between the cars. It's just like nobody cares because the play area is fenced off, so kids are just playing everywhere else. Like nobody's holding to the rules here.
But sure, mainland Estonia is not too bad, right? Saaremaa is really bad.
Yeah.
Like I know that the island is in trouble, but mainland is not too bad, I think.
Well, I think Harjumaa has about the same amount as Saaremaa. So,
is it really?
Yeah.
Should have stayed in Paide. What am I doing up here?
Yeah. You're in a more dangerous area, definitely, yeah. And so
you're gonna hole up and buy the castle, you know.
Yeah, and Lewis is saying into the chat as well that Sophie from Denmark, so Sophie Hagen, came onto the radio said the C word like 40 times in an hour.
The C word.
Yeah, and they got 2 complaints. And then they replied that, it was an artistic thing, seeing if we could push the limits, and those people were totally cool with that answer.
Wait, they got 2 complaints from Estonians?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if they were Estonians or not, but...
Come on, lads. Those words are meaningless in your language. I hear kids running around chasing each other, beating each other with sticks, going, "You are a cunt, you are a cunt," all the time.
Yeah. It's strange as well, like, because I feel that it's a generational thing. I remember, at least when I was growing up, like, English was my secret language with my friends, because my parents didn't, well, at that point, still talk it that well. They do talk it quite well now. Speak it even is the correct word to use. I mean, my dad recently started learning English in a proper environment as well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, is your dad still at work at the moment?
No, he was laid off. Started this year, actually, before the whole thing happened. Even
I'd see him every now and then, and I'd be like, "Oh, I should say hello. I should say hello," but I'm like, "Nah." I'll leave it.
Yeah, he's. But the government basically told him to learn English, and we still do the homework together now, every now and then, and it's fun time.
Do you still play World of Warcraft together?
Yeah, they play more than me now, but because I actually do this stuff now, and I don't have enough as much time to play, because I play other stuff with my friends as well. But I mean, my mom and dad still play.
What's with the pony behind you? What's that?
What
Why is
pony?
there a pony? There's a pony off to your right shoulder there.
I don't see a pony.
I see a pony, Carl. What's this about?
I don't know.
You're going to have an intervention, Carl. What's this?
That was actually a gift. The pony was a gift.
I think they're having a fight right now.
Yeah, exactly.
To each other.
Exactly. Like if the demon is telling the ally to destroy the pony, and the pony's ally is like, no.
Well, I'm not here to kink shame, Carl.
There's stories between me every time. Yesterday, I had 2 assassins.
Explain.
And like assassins with hoods. That's it. Like review the video from yesterday.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
It's a good opportunity to learn Estonian too.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, look, I've been saying that I was going to learn Estonian for a long time now, and it's about fucking time. So I'm going to do it. I even stupidly made a bet with Tauri Einberg on the podcast we did. I'm going to regret bringing this up now, but I have to bring it up because I fucking said it. I said that by this time next year, I'm going to at least be semi-conversational in Estonian, and if not, I was going to shave my head and my beard.
Okay.
So that kind of makes me want you to not learn Estonian.
Yeah. I want you to fail in life. Suddenly.
Fail. That was the stupidest thing I've said in a while, but sure, whatever. It might light a fire under me to learn the language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, someone's asking about the program we use. Why is there a yellow box, or for me it's green, like moving from speaker to speaker? That's just Zoom doing its own thing. Usually you would have a different view, like, because you usually have something called a speaker view, which just shows people who's speaking, and it's a fail. So we use this sort of instead. Yeah. But actually, I think it's time for a game as well now. Yeah, we had a nice little chat.
I'm intrigued by this game. You said it was about wrestling, and I think you messed up. I think you think I know stuff about wrestling.
Now I know you know MMA, and close enough.
All right, we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a disaster, but sure, who am I?
Yeah, it's a Külapood game. Every Külapood game is a disaster. That's
all right. Great.
Yeah. So what? Here we are. Okay, I have it open. But unless there's something you want to talk about before I start the game, is there any topic you were expecting me to cover, or anything you want?
Someone asked what my favorite food place in Estonia was, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a hard question because there's all these new places. But I mean, I have to give a shout out to some of the places, right?
Yeah.
There's a little Asian place near Baltiam called Asian Cafe.
Oh yes.
Good lads. They always look after me. They're good people.
Good food as well.
Good food. Great food. Also, I mean, there's a bunch, like the places I'm eating now, everyone knows about, like Kaya Pizza Cook. Maragus is like desperate to take everyone out to Tabasalu for a pizza studio. I mean, I think he's trying to get me out to Tabasalu for different reasons.
Yeah. It's like the car suddenly breaks down on the way in the forest.
But Karl, are there, like, what's it like out in Lasnamäe now? Are there any like new interesting food places out there? I haven't been out there in months.
I'm sure there are, but I haven't been out, to be honest. Like, especially in the past couple of months, I don't really go out to eat. I cook my own food most of the time.
Okay.
I actually heard that it was a while back that in Lasnamäe there's supposed to be one of the most like authentic Korean food places, but it's basically like at the basement level. It's like doesn't look fancy at all, but it's some Korean grandma making her recipe.
Christian Yekimov told me about that. Yeah, but I never found out what it was called. Even if it's called anything, I don't know.
I can check it out for you later on. I think I know the place you mean. Actually, that's one of the places I want to go and check out at some point, but I can't remember what it's called right now.
What I want to know, Karl, is do you still have those basement old ladies with the giant metal steel drum of moonshine that you go down and you scoop up with the cup that you told me about years ago?
There was one where it wasn't actually moonshine, it was just like beer. Like I don't know if it was home brewed or something, but you had to bring your own bottle. There was a nice little bar down nearby where they basically managed to circumvent the alcohol selling law, right? So that you would buy it, and like the presumption was that you would drink it on premises, but nobody did. So that was the way they managed to circumvent that. But I think that's probably closed now. I can't see that sort of lasting for long.
High chances of getting blind in that place, I'd say.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because Ireland is renowned for our moonshine culture, but not anymore. We don't fuck with that stuff anymore.
Yeah, well, we had some outbreaks here and there of the blindness from the bad moonshine, but not lately. I think not a huge one anyway.
I think when I was in the military, then we were specifically told numerous times not to drink the foot disinfectant because apparently someone had gotten like blinded by drinking that.
Yeah, Rona was telling me that people are stealing the disinfectant from the apartment block in his place. They're just like drinking it out of the bottle.
Yeah, that is the thing that happens because it has alcohol in it.
It's logical for the area that he lives in.
Yeah.
It's a Meiniku thing.
That'd do damage, though. That'd ruin your day, you know?
But that's the thing. Like, in Meiniku, they thought they were good and, like, people wouldn't steal that, right? But in Lasnamäe, like, nobody has disinfectant stuff or anything anywhere because people would drink it. Like, everything gets stolen anyway.
That's the thing. For the longest time, I thought Meiniku was this beautiful leafy suburb of Tallinn because I'd only ever pass through it on the train and I'd see that nice lake there and I'd see little trees around the place, and then I find out that they dumped bodies in that lake or something.
Yeah.
And Ron was like, yes, I swim in that lake. I'm like, what are you doing?
Meiniku like a little slice of Lasnamäe right at the edge of Nõmme. Like they just threw a couple of like Soviet apartment blocks in there and like
and they have the murder lake there that you can't have a nice swim in.
Yeah, a lot of people with concrete shoes.
I have much to learn about this country.
Yeah, there's still some culture like you don't expect it to be as bad in certain situations, and then there are like nice areas of Lasnamäe as well where you go like, this isn't Lasnamäe. Like this, how is this so nice? Nobody's getting stabbed in front of me. What's happening?
This ain't the Lasnamäe I know. I grew up with.
Yeah,
it's
but like
gentrify.
There's also this perception of people who from outside Estonia. Like so many people have come and visited me here, and they're stunned by how cosmopolitan Tallinn is, and how no one is going around on donkey and carts and stuff, and everyone's driving cars. And I'm like, what the fuck did you expect? European Union,
This isn't Latvia. Come on, please.
It's like the disappointed kind of, right?
Kind of, yeah. Like I had one fella come over from Australia, and he liked the movie Stalker, right? And parts of Stalker were filmed here.
Yeah.
He was just expecting Stalker. And then we drive through past Swiss Hotel, and he's like, what the?
Yeah.
Stalker
it's like this, like filmed like right now, Rotterdam is like the most upscale, trendiest place, couldn't be more opposite to what it was.
Yeah, Stalker is also popular and a good video game series that's going to have a new episode soon. And I like half imagine somebody coming to Estonia and thinking like, This isn't like the games at all. Where are all the mutants? Where are the freaks? Where's the alien
Then you
stuff?
point at the like ferry where the fins come off the ship.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
Have a look that way, good sir.
But yeah, do you miss Sanders Burgers at all?
Do you know what about Sanders Burgers? I went to visit Sander down in wherever he is now, near Viljandi. Yeah. And he made that red burger sauce on his channel recently.
Yeah.
He gave it all to me.
Ooh.
He made me a Sander burger from scratch. So I got to see the entire process. So now I've got the sauce, I got the knowledge, and I'm just swimming in Sander burgers now. So I'm good for now.
That's good. You have the secrets. Well, the secrets basically. You can top.
You know what though? There's something about eating one of his burgers. It's different. It's not the same, you know.
Yeah.
I want to be stood outside his house on Diamante and Tartu, freezing cold, like eating my burger.
Yeah, a little bit of rain drizzling on you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
and hungover from yesterday as well.
Oh God.
From whatever happened at his place. Yeah. That's good, but let's do the game. I think it's time for the game. I'm looking at the time here, and it's time for a game. And so basically, this game is superhero or wrestler. So I'm going to read out the name of a character, and you have to guess if it's a wrestler, a wrestling person, persona, or if it's a superhero. That's basically it. Whoever.
What do I win? What do I win?
There's a one-on-one cam session with me after this.
Oh, but I get that for free anyway, Carl. Come on.
Yes, but I keep my clothes on this time.
Bring the pony with you, and we're.
No, that's actually that was a birthday gift for me. I can't.
Oh shit.
That was from Comedy Stone. Actually, that was from all the boys from Comedy Estonia.
You won't bring the pony.
I do have an inflatable donkey that I can bring.
Deal.
It has 2 love holes.
Sharing.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, I'm down.
So what's the when I'm just checking the chat before as well. Okay.
Margaret's throwing shade still, is he?
No, not yet. Soon. So okay, I'll start with the name, and I'll talk probably a little bit about their sort of powers as well, and you can guess. So the first one is called Papa Shango. Papa Shango is basically a witch doctor who can curse and hex enemies and opponents.
Papa Shango.
Yeah.
Wrestler.
Okay, you're thinking wrestler. And and Ardo?
That's something from, like, I don't know, Jamaican folklore.
This is the myth or Pokemon. This is.
Yeah, it's
by the way, all of these, Carl, I'm going to take these names and retroactively apply them to all the known bums in Paida. I'm just going to give Papa Shango. I already know who I'm going to give Papa Shango to.
But I am Dima. No, you're Papa Shango.
I have decided.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with wrestler too.
Okay. And he is a wrestler. Papa Shango is a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a creepy witch doctor, and he basically, his thing was that he would hex his opponent, who would sort of topple over and start vomiting or something. Cool show.
One for me and you, Ardo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I should start watching wrestling more.
Now, I mean, they have some insane characters.
They're still doing. Do you know WWE are still doing shows right now?
Oh,
America.
I didn't know that. Well, that is a very shady business there.
But they do to like empty arenas or yeah.
Well, it's pay-per-view, so that's where most of the money comes from anyway.
Yeah.
So this next one is called Ember Moon. Ember Moon is a vampire lady who casts magic.
Superhero.
Okay. I mean, it's like some Instagram filter or something like that.
Ardo, are you looking down at your phone right now? You cheating bollocks.
I'll do the game like this. Ember Moon, yeah?
Yeah, Ember Moon. Ember, as like she has her symbol is a ember moon as well. Like, it's a reddish tone.
You know what? I'm gonna say it's like one of the new superheroes.
Okay, so you both say superhero, yeah? And the correct answer is wrestler. She's up and coming. She's not in the main league WWE yet. She's in next, I think, and she just has a very unique look to her. And a myth is behind her.
She's still fighting outside by the maximum, trying to make her way the ranks.
That's that was a wrestler, and her thing is that there's an ember moon behind her, and she has like red contacts to make her look like a vampire, and she has different like war goddess is her.
Try and get it for a Comedy Estonia tour.
Okay, so next one is Squirrel Girl.
Stripper.
Squirrel Girl has a squirrel tail, and her power is that she can talk to squirrels.
You see, that's such an obvious superhero one, but I don't know. You could be putting the old bait and switch on me, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with wrestler.
Okay.
It just sounds very depressing. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with superhero.
Okay.
Just to be different.
The correct answer is superhero. She's a human-sized girl with a squirrel tail, and she's quite agile as well as a squirrel would be. But her main superpower is that she can sort of talk to squirrels, and she's actually overpowered because the squirrels can kill almost anyone. Like, I think there is a comic where she destroys all the big baddies in comic book world. Are you making this up, Karl? Is this your own fandom thing?
It sounds like a stream of conscience, pretty much.
No, that's real. Squirrel girl.
What are you even gonna, what use do you have from talking to squirrels? But it's just gonna be like, give me a peanut.
Nah,
give me a chocolate bar.
Well, there's enough squirrels. It's the old sort of conundrum of if you have like how many first grade children can you take out in combat before they overwhelm you, right? It's the same kind.
What kind of artillery am I packing?
Maybe she can create like a giant mech out of squirrels or something, like a Power Rangers style. Just have all the squirrels band together.
Yeah.
I mean, she used to be a part of the Avengers, I believe, as well. So, I mean,
future movies in the works, right?
I think she was in a series, in a TV adaptation of something as well. So Squirrel Girl. Ardo gets
sounds like a bunch of writers sitting around going, squirrel girl.
Pretty much. We need a girl character. What rhymes with girl? Pearl girl? Nah, too strippery. Squirrel girl? A bit strippery, but we'll do it. Next one is the Great Kali. The Great Kali.
I think I've heard this before.
Okay. I'll give Ardo a chance.
Yeah, sure. Do you have any background on this?
Yes, I was going to go just a very powerful humanoid.
Humanoid
with superhuman strength and height.
I think he's a very roided up wrestler.
Okay.
I was going to say wrestler too.
Okay, and he is an actual wrestler, yes.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, I actually started movies and stuff. I just like the name, the Great Kali, because it sounds like a super villain or something, but actually not.
Sounds like the crater in Sarima, the Kali crater.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his origin story, right?
Well, I think he's from...
Came out of the crater one day.
Yes. Fell to earth and then crawled out of the crater.
The mannequin. The mannequin. So basically, he can summon the power of his ancestors to help him.
Superhero.
From any point in time.
I'm going to say superhero.
Okay. Ardo?
I mean, I guess I'm just going to say wrestler just for the, giggles.
The true answer is superhero, yeah. He can summon 3 that he usually summons from any point in time. It has to be a genetic ancestor that he can summon, and one of them is like from the future, very intelligent and tech based. Then there's like Ape Man, who's from the like I don't even like the Stone Age, but pretty much like just raw strength and stuff. And then there's the like Blob, that's like a sentient goo, like from the primordials like stage where and he can basically corrode stuff with being acid.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are there any Estonian comic books with Estonian superheroes?
No, I don't think. Like Kalevi Boy, but that's about it.
There's a market there for you, Carl.
Yeah.
The Corona thing keeps going.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gamma guy or something.
Gamma.
He can like use to summon his ancestors, a bunch of grandmas to make him jam or something.
Yeah, he can make the grandmas will make jam of anything, even the enemies.
I had this idea years ago of like like kind of a superhero, but a rat king where all the rats get stuck together with their tail.
Yeah. You mean
like a Vanna Emma king where they all get stuck together with their tails and they just form this one mass. That's an evil thing though.
Mikael Mimma had a bit about how girls in the locker room, basically their hair gets tangled like a rat king.
Oh shit! I just stole his bit. Sorry, Mikael.
No worries. I'm just saying.
You as Highlanders, you'll have to duel it out, and like you're gonna have to cut off Mikael's head with a sword.
Yep.
Claim his bits.
Tell me when that happens. I'll live stream it. And Doink.
And then we'll have a game after that.
Yeah, we'll have a cute little game. Doink the clown.
Oh, this is such an obvious one. I mean, it's a wrestler.
Okay.
Everyone knows Doink the clown, right? It's a common one.
It's pretty common one.
Yeah, he's obviously not that good of a wrestler because he has to moonlight as a clown, an actual clown.
Hey, we had to open for clown once. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, the whole of Comedy Estonia.
Oh yeah, I do remember that now. I had blocked it out
for a racist clown.
Yeah, it was, and we were the clown's main audience for a while, but then we moved away, and the other 3 people there who were come
3 years old.
Yeah,
it was a very bizarre day. That I talked about this with Sander. You all came to my little tiny apartment in Paide. We cooked food outside, slept on the grass, went to get a show opening for a clown in front of 2 old ladies.
Yeah.
And then we slept again and did another show later on. And what a mess.
Oh, yeah.
That was so weird. And the second show was weird as well. And we haven't really been back to Paide since, to be honest. Like I think.
Yeah.
No.
Little did we know back then it was the happiest time of our lives.
Sure was.
It was very serene, I have to say. Like it was an enjoyable evening, like the sitting there and just enjoying life.
It was warm and shit.
Yeah.
God, now we're all trapped inside and coronavirus and
yeah,
tough, lads. It's tough.
So, Ardo, you're saying wrestler as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that is like I included Doink because it's such a bizarre thing. Because Doink is kind of the Batman of hear me out. Hear me out. It's kind of the Batman of the wrestling scene because it was just a costume, right? Because there were like 5 different wrestlers who took on the persona of Doink. Yeah.
Did you actually watch wrestling, Carl? Were you a wrestling guy?
No, I've never been into wrestling.
No? Okay.
No, I just read on it right now, like 5 minutes before the show.
I liked there was a wrestler called Mankind. He had a leather mask.
I read
and
that.
He had a sock puppet hand thing that he called Socko. And I was such a messed up kid that I brought Socko to school one day and was like going in people's faces with Socko.
And yeah, Mankind, he had the wrestler sort of underneath it was a very good wrestler, as I read. Like he could take a lot of pain in the ring and stuff, but he had multiple personas as well. And you could he made the stuff where you could see in the back in the locker room, like the different personas talking, like which would be on the stage this time, and it was a like it hadn't been done in wrestling before, this kind of thing, so it's a very very unique perspective. So, and the final one is the almighty dollar.
I'm going to need you to explain this one.
Has the power to defeat enemies with money.
Ooh.
Just literally throwing money at them.
This could be like a Vince McMahon type of thing.
Vince McMahon, who is the basically owner of WWE.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'll let you go first, Ardo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a wrestler.
Okay.
I'm gonna say superhero just to go against the grain.
Okay. The correct answer is superhero. Yes, it's a superhero who, more precisely, the power is he could fire after an accident in a bank. He could fire a stream of pennies from his finger, an unending stream of pennies from his finger.
What kind of accident?
That'd be a really nice superhero thing to have, because you could just go around and just pay for everything with your finger.
Yeah.
Now, actually, it wasn't an accident in a bank. I made that up. It was J. Pennington Pennypacker was the name. Pennypacker. He was a regular accountant until an evil scientist gave him the power to shoot torrents of pennies from his hands.
Well, it couldn't be that evil, you know.
What would happen if he's fingering his woman or something, and he oh fuck, sorry.
You just see like from the
say
skull.
I'm not making enough money, bitch. Go buy your mink coat.
But that's the game. And the winner is Tim Reidy.
Oh man,
Why that takes the crown.
This is the first thing I've won in many years.
Külapood loses another round, Ardo. What the fuck's going on?
Wait, what's the tally at the moment for all your games?
Well, we lost the last one, so.
All right.
I mean, this week's been awful. For generally, just like everything's bad. No, just we've lost.
You should just cheat. Just cheat. Who cares?
No,
well, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, that's the problem. I send him the answers every time, and every time he's like, "Oh,
bastards! You were going to set me up, the two of you."
You don't send me nothing but dick pics.
Oh yeah.
Never trust.
Am I supposed to read the answers from that? I think there's a breakdown of communication that has happened.
Yeah, I write the answers on my dick. You never just look at the pictures long enough. If you zoomed in, you could see the dick. I mean the
oh yeah.
the text.
Where is this dick go? Oh,
it's like Find Waldo, but
when all else fails, we resort to the dick jokes. Isn't that right, lads?
Yeah. That's what happened.
Ardo, I actually wanted to ask you, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time. How are you doing in the middle of all this thing?
You know, slowly dying. You know, what am I going to do? I've been sort of coughing for 2 months now. Gets better. So on some days gets worse. On other days. And
is that an actual mustache, or is it just a buildup of COVID under your nose?
It's to keep it out of my nose, actually. So they sort of catch the particles so they don't go into my breathing ways or whatever.
I saw a leaflet that was handed out in America saying that people with beards are like at risk of spreading the disease.
Yeah.
So, Karl, we gotta.
I know.
Because that's actually because if you wear a mask, then you have to have it clean shaved, otherwise it won't make a seal.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I can't wear a mask. I tried, and I was like, nah, this like.
Well, you can shave your beard.
Yeah, you could do that.
Nah, there's a lot going underneath the beard. There's a lot of there's a couple of scars and way too many chins. So I'd rather keep the beard. Thank you very much.
But
I have a little hatch that I keep down here where I store food and stuff. So
and there's also Gregory the mouse that lives in there.
Yeah, that's right. Can't forget Gregory.
Yeah. Generally, like it's been, I don't know, it's kind of like it makes you lack motivation, kind of being in all the time, because I'm not, writing as much. A lot of people like take the time to write, but like right now, I know we don't have shows coming up, so what am I gonna make this material for, or even about? But we're doing these lives. That was a good idea by Karl to do these things, and that kind of gives some meaning.
It gives routine as well, because then you like, oh, I have something to do now.
The thing is, lads, don't give up. Keep doing this long after we're back to normal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people making a lot of stuff at the moment, and I have a feeling that everyone's just going to go back to not doing it when all is done.
Yeah, but I think when life goes a bit back to more normal, it's not going to be quite as from home all the time. Like I'd actually, because podcasts as well, it's better when you're actually live, seeing each other and all that. I mean, this is a stopgap measure in a way, and it works well enough, but it can be better, I think, when you have a live atmosphere, and because then you can even currently, if you see the sort of way we're talking, if someone starts talking, you have that little lag, you have that little bit of, you have to stop, someone's talking, and it's not as instant, so you lose a bit through the internet, but it's still, I mean, at least we're keeping isolated and everything's fine, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of feel bad for you lads, because I mean, I haven't done many shows in the last year and a half, so this is nothing new to me. But you lads are struggling without shows. I can see it. You're just, even though we all know the first show back, the amount of hacky coronavirus bits is going to be through the roof.
Yeah, but I think the first time we need to get that out of our system, because it would be strange as well if you don't mention it.
Yeah,
at all.
Like when Margus Toots showed up with a bandage on his head and did an entire set.
That's what I use an example every time. It's kind of.
I think we're gonna have to accept. We might kind of suck the first time we come back.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah, someone said not someone, but Lewis said my gang color is yellow because I should get a bandana, right, and make me look like a bank robber as well. Actually, in last night,
oh my God, you're still wearing a yellow shirt even though you're at home.
Yes.
My goodness.
I have a different one each show as well. I still iron
Isn't there
them.
Yellow? We should get some yellow monsters. I see these yellow monsters in the show.
Oh shit. I hate it. Yeah, it tastes like stale Fanta. It's called Dr. Monster, and it's like if you take Fanta and you let it go flat.
A wrestler or a superhero?
Is it the regular sea or just a fantasy? No, that's I think it's a Beck Hill joke pun.
What if Yellow Monster was the last kind of monster on Earth?
I would drink something else. I would drink what I usually do, what I drink when not drinking Monster, which is vodka.
Such hate for a specific color.
It's not color; it's the taste I hate, because it tastes vaguely of fruit, and it's my second least favorite is Mango Loco Monster, which is just like the juice, like the multi-nectar juice.
I've never tasted any flavor other than this green piss. That's it. Only one I've ever had.
By the way, if you pour this out in Estonia, it's brownish. But if you pour the Monster out in America, it is actually neon green.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Racism.
But thank you for coming to the show.
Look, lads, it was great to see both of you again. I mean, I hope this resolves itself soon, because I want to go the fuck home.
You're not leaving here, Timothy.
Yeah, but just stay safe, and sure you've been staying safe way more than I have in the last 3 weeks or so. But no, it was great seeing the two of you. Thanks for having me.
Get on the couch in the office. Is that where you're staying now?
Yeah, this is my pad. This is where I sleep. Lewis
Sometimes
doesn't know that, but I've been sleeping here every night for the last week. So.
Yeah, you and Daniel. And but yeah, thank you for listening, everybody who's still with us right now. So what happens here is this is the part where I say social media stuff. So I'm at Karl-Alari Varma on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to say anything about Külapood, hit me up there with any pictures or whatever messages you want. Also, külapood@gmail.com. Külapood@gmail.com. So like Külapood, but the U is the U, so without the dots, because Google won't allow the dots. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Also down here you can see Ardo.
Yeah, I'm at Ardo Asperk at Instagram and Twitter, and I'm also selling my full-length hour comedy special on the Comedy Estonia web shop for €5. So buy that, man.
Yep. I'll put the link, or if Lewis is still in here, Lewis can put the link in the chat as well. And thank you for our guest today, Tim Reidy, over at that side.
Yeah. Hope to see you at some future mics too.
Yeah. Gonna happen. I'm coming back with the fury of 1,000 bats.
Yeah, and an Estonian language set.
Oh Jesus, no!
And check out his Twitter, not Twitter, but Instagram at sexyhunk1988, and also his podcast that he's doing, the Crackden. The link is bound down below, or the Podbean link. And yeah,
and that's it, right?
That's pretty much it. Thank you for coming.
Get Kodus and wash your hands and don't touch your face and all that stuff.
And this week the schedule will continue with the lives. Tomorrow we have mida. It's going to be in Estonian. Then on Thursday we're going back to English for Caleb Brunik, and then on Friday we have Marko Tasane. So that's going to be wild. And yeah, thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm just gonna keep waving until this is.
I mean, that's the best. It takes time.
It's like at the end of these news shows when they.
Was the final wave like? Did you start doing that?
Of course.
Yeah, that's where the ad revenue goes off. Robots are like, everything else was fine. This is not.